Good evening, this is Jennifer, Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee, your net control operator for the River City ARC's Slow Scan TV Net. This net serves for training and practice in the image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on the N6NA repeater on 441.30 megahertz. River City ARC's members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break, break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now and speak slowly for me. I'm going to try to get you guys in order, and once I've gotten everybody on board, then people will send their image, and I'll ask a few people to comment. We won't go through the whole group, and then we'll move on to the next person. Thanks so much. All right, folks, please come now.
N6WLM, Bill and Roselle.
Lima 7, Hotel Quebec Romeo, Neil in Antelope.
November 6, Papa Golf Quebec, Bob in Roseville.
KP4MD, Carol Citrus High.
Alpha Echo 6, Juliet Golf, James in Gold River.
Alrighty then, thanks very much for checking in. I've got, let's see, N6, what is it, WNL? I always get yours wrong, Bill, and then I've got Neil, Kilo, Lima 7, Hotel Quebec Romeo, and then I've got Bob, N6 PGQ, so November 6, Papa Golf Quebec, and then I've got Joel, a Alpha India 6, Delta Golf, and then I've got Carol, KP4MD, MD, and then I've got James, AE6, JG. Bill, can you come back with your call sign one more time for me, please?
Yeah, it's November 6, Whiskey Lima Mike, WLM, like William.
Copy that. Thanks so much. So I've got Bill, Neil, Bob, Joel, Carol, James, and myself, Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee. Is there anyone else who would like to check into the River City ARC's Slow Scan TV Net this evening? Alrighty then, I just want to let folks know that on the chat box we've got Craig Bruce. He is Whiskey Papa 2 November. I think that's it. He's also on, and I think that's it for right now on the chat. So we're going to go to the top of the list, and we're going to go to November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike Bill, and let him fire away the first picture.
Yeah, this will be PD 120, N6WLM.
Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. Thanks so much, Bill. Let's go to Neil and get his comments right now. Neil, Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo. Go ahead.
Roger, good evening, gang. KL7HQR. Well, finally I see a picture that I can recognize. I see capacitors and electrolytic capacitors and tuning devices. And that is electronic devices as they should be, with the transformers and etc. None of this surface mount thing that I don't understand anything about it. Very good picture. Obviously cannot discuss much about artifacts because the complexity of the picture itself, but very clear. There was a little line just on the beginning, a horizontal line there that there was a little bit fail, but everything else very, very good. Kind of interesting to see what this is, a receiver, a transceiver, or what the insert that we're looking at. Back to that KL7HQR.
Okay, that's great. Thanks so much, Neil. Let's move on to Bob. And Bob, what do you think?
Oh, which Bob do you want? N6PGQ.
You there?
Bob, do you want this N6PGQ?
N6PGQ, go ahead.
Okay, very good. Well, I kind of agree with Neil. You can see some pixel pops in the far left where it's black, and there must have been an ID right at the very top. It kind of destroyed the picture. Looks like somebody may have opened this up and put in new electrolytic capacitors. They kind of look nice and shiny compared to the rest of the stuff that's in there. Be interested to know what it is. In this view, you don't see any variable capacitors in there, but it's going to be interesting to see what it is. Good picture, nice close-up, and all the parts are nicely in focus. N6PGQ.
Thanks so much, N6PGQ. This is a Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and I'm going to move on to Joel. Joel, what comments do you have on this? Alpha India 6 Delta Golf.
Okay, so we've got an old style tube radio. We're looking at the bottom of the chassis. I'm guessing a KWM. You can see the boxes on the left are the various stages, so that's the band switch. In the lower right, you can see the transformer that I would guess is the audio transformer. The dial, edge of the dial up on the top center. The bottom center, to little to the right, you can see the TR transmit receive relay, and to the left of that is the cage for the high voltage transmitter tubes. You can see the post style of construction where you've got the little round posts with all the different studs off of them to mount the various components to. Good catch about the newer electrolytics, so it's quite possible that this has been, at least some of them have been redone. Don't see any crystals, so the crystal bank would be up on the top, and that's true for KWM too. I could be wrong on it being a Collins KWM too, but very similar. Back to Net, AI6DG.
Thanks so much, Joel. So now we're going to go back to Bill, November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike, and find out what's going on here. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike, Bill in Roseville. And Joel, you got it exactly right. This is a Collins KWM 2A specifically. And yeah, you pretty much named all the various components in it. I picked this up as a project, and I opened it up, and I was dumbfounded at what I saw. You guys are saying this is how things should be made. I'm saying I like PCBs because it is quite the mess. I can't believe anybody could work on these or even construct them. It's quite intricate. I was impressed. My wife walked in. She's a computer engineer, and she looked at this and she gasped audibly because she was just surprised at the complexity of what she saw. So the radio works pretty well. I don't have to change the electrolytics, and the only issue is that the transmit relay is broken. So I have to find a new transmit relay and replace that, which is not a part I don't think you could get anymore. So it'll be a fun project, but I'm enjoying my boat anchor. N6WLM, back to that.
That is just such a nightmare. I look at it and I'm like, oh no, I would never have worked on that. Incredible. Great picture. Thanks so much, Bill. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. Is there anybody out there right now that would still like to join the net? Please come now.
A comment?
Another comment?
Take the first comment.
KL7HQR. Interesting that at a difference in generations, that you would say a KWM, a Collins of this kind would be a boat anchor. This was the absolutely Cadillac of the radio in the 60s and 70s. So everybody would give their left arm to be able to own one of these. So it shows how things have changed and how much we have progressed. Back to that.
Thanks, Neil. And second comment?
Actually, a couple of things. One, a comment, question. How much did you pay for this? I'm curious, based to get a feel for if and how much the prices collapsed on these. There's just not as demand, I don't think, anymore as they used to be. You used to see them at all the swaps, and they would pull good prices. It kind of depends on, I think, on the condition and who's asking. Some people are willing to pay more for ones that are in good condition versus others. And Collins Collectors Association. If you're really interested in Collins gear and collecting and or repairing, Collins Collector, whatever I just said. There's a couple of really good Collins clubs out there. Get a hold of me at ai6dg@arl.net if you want some more info of the club that I'm a member of. But they have a library that would have full documentation on this rig and the manual if you don't have one already. And that's maybe something else I could help you with. Have fun with this. It's a whole different ball game, and be very careful of the high voltage. That can kill you. Back to net, AI6DG.
Bill, you want to comment?
Yeah, thanks for warning about the voltage. I hear that regularly. It is a little scary, the amount of voltage that go through these things, and I've been very careful when I've played with it. I'm glad that it's not in worse shape. It's actually a barn find, more or less. Somebody had it in a shed, and they wanted to get rid of it. So I'm willing to admit I spent under $1,000, so it wasn't too expensive. I think when you talk about Collins, it could be awfully pricey. It did come as a set, so I have this Collins KWM2, the power supply, the station monitor, and I got a amplifier, which was my real goal of purchasing everything was to get the amp. So I have a Collins 30L1 now that works great, and I was talking on the our casual net the other evening on it. So yeah, it was a good amount of money, but I think it'll be a fun project, and been meaning to get something a little older like this. Anyways, N6WLM, back to net.
Again, thanks so much, Bill. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. Let's move on to Neil, Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo. Are you ready to send a photo?
Sure am. We'll try it at BG120. Give me a second. I am trying to get the right things in the right places here. Stand by.
Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs SSTV Net. And Neil, that was beautiful, very beautiful. So we're going to go straight down to Carol first, KP4MD, for your comments.
Yeah, okay. This is KP4MD. Very good picture. Very few pixel pops. I can mostly see some in the dark area on the top of the picture there. Looks like sunset, maybe. Wonder what bridge that is. That may be the Bay Bridge, because it looks like you have the loading docks there at Oakland behind the bridge there. And this is what I'm guessing. I think this is in San Francisco. Back to Nets, KP4MD.
Thanks so much, Carol. James, what do you think? AE6JG Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf.
This looks like Oakland, maybe the port of Oakland. I have really good copy. The sun is setting, and so there's a lot of yellow. There's a bridge, but I'm not sure what bridge that is. But I see cranes that are for loading cargo ships. So, but a really good copy, just a few pops around. I have it blown up on my computer, and it looks great, Neil. So, really great photo. AE6JG, back to you, Jen.
Thanks, James. Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. We're going to go up to Bill, November 6th, Whiskey Lima. Mike, what do you think?
That's a great looking photo, very pretty. I'm wondering where you took it from. It looks like maybe another bridge, because there's that outcrop of something above you. But very good picture, very few pixel pops on my end. Yeah, I'm interested to learn about more. N6NA, back to that.
Thanks so much, Bill. Well, let's go on to Neil. Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo. What's going on here in this bridge picture?
Yeah, good evening, gang. KL7HQR. Yeah, again, every time you see me sending a picture of a nice-looking sunrise or sunset, it's due to my wife. She takes fantastically good pictures. This is the Vincent Thomas Bridge. Is the only suspension bridge in Southern California. It connects San Pedro to the terminal island, and it was taken from aboard the Royal Princess. She was about to take a cruise, or making a quick stop in Los Angeles. She took the cruise from San Francisco, and it's about 6:30 a.m. So this is the sunrise, and somehow it kind of looked like to me like a Star Trek picture with all those cranes going up, and I decided to throw it in here because of the 4th of May. Anyway, I think it's a nice picture, and I'm glad you guys enjoyed. Back to that.
Thanks so much, Neil. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. Is there anybody else out there that would like to join the net that I haven't heard from yet? All right, we'll move on to Bob, November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec. Are you ready to send your picture?
I am. This is going to be PD120 and 6PGQ.
Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. And I am going to go to, let's see. I think I'll go to Joel, Alpha India 6, Delta Golf. What do you think?
Okay, so we've got a 3-digit dial up in a mechanical device up on top, so it's kind of like an odometer where the numbers are twirling top to bottom, around, behind. But it's only 3 digits, which seems odd, but I can see some gears to the left or the right. So it's in kind of a box, and we've got kind of a metal mechanism divider between the top set of 3-digit dials and a lower set of 3-digit dials, but in this case the least significant digit is in tenths, so right now it's pointing at 3/10. And below that we have another 3 digits, but they're twirling left to right, and I can see that the least significant digit is indicating 6/10. So I don't know why you would have 2 dials that each is indicating in tenths. There's a nice patina to all of this, so it's either something very old or that has been exposed or has been exposed to weather. There's stuff to the left and the right. I can't really tell what it is. So, my 2 thoughts would be something related to electrical metering or automotive, but I'm kind of stumped as to what and why we would have the digit layout like this. Weird. I want to know more. Back to net, AI6DG.
Thank you, AI6DG. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in really quick because I'm looking at the YouTube version, which I see has some pixel pops lines across the portion upper third, but on mine I've only got a few pops. So I wonder what the difference is, and I hope that Carol can fill that in. And this makes me think of, a gas station meter or something like that, but I am going to move on to Carol. KP4MD, Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta. What do you think?
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. I'm going to guess this has maybe something to do with a gasoline pump, I'm guessing. You have maybe at the bottom the 3 numbers dialed in there, 32 and 6/10, and then that number above it, 13, maybe that's the cost per gallon. And then you've got 13 and 3/10 of a gallon. You multiply those 2 numbers together and you would get $4.33, which is the number on top. I'm guessing it's something like that, some kind of calculation for dispensing a liquid, perhaps gasoline, and then calculating the price on the top. I just figured that out with my calculator. But yeah, there's some little bit of interference there. I think there was an ID like halfway down the picture, and then there were a few other lines. Must have been some other interference a little higher up in the picture there. But otherwise, it's a really pretty good clear picture. Back to you, this is KP4MD.
Thanks so much, Carol. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Flow Scan TV Net. I'm going to move on to 86JG, Alpha Echo 6, Juliet Golf. James, what do you think?
The quality of the picture is probably the best I've seen so far in my short tenure with FlowScan TV. It looks like something related to a gas pump, but the picture's great. There's barely any pixel pops. It's really sharp. I'm very impressed. I don't have much more to add. I mean, there are numbers and gears and price, gallons. I'll be interested to see what this is about. Maybe this is for dispensing propane or something other than gasoline, but really great photo. Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf, back to you, Jen.
Thanks so much, James. Well, let's go to Bob and 6PGQ. What's going on here?
Okay, well, Carol pretty much hit it on the head. This is a Tolkien pump. It's the innards of it. You know, when you cover it up with a nice gas pump piece of sheet metal, and it's painted the brand of your gas station. And she's right. The total is $4.33 for 13.3 gallons, and the gas there is 32 and 6/10 cents a gallon. This is a Tolkien 36B and was made in 1936. There it is, N6PGQ.
Thanks so much, Bob. That was a great picture. And as always, everybody sends really interesting things on this net that that's what encourages me to come back. It's just always so interesting, the stories you guys have. So this is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and I'm going to move down to Joel now. AI60G, would you like to send a picture now?
Yes, but quick question. What's the lever, the chain lever to the left do? You pull it and it does what?
Well, the gear mechanism that's on the left of the 4 interconnects all the parts. It has a rotating shaft that goes from the pump up to the gear mechanism, and you know it's mechanical. It's basically like a clock, and you rotate the price at the bottom, and it computes your cost and shows you how many gallons you've bought.
No, there's a chain. You see right in the dead center. There's a rectangle with a slanted slot in it, and that to the right of that, there's a lever that goes just to the outside of the box, and there's a chain that's going down.
It's part of the reset mechanism.
So when you're done pumping, you'd pull that and it'd reset to 0?
Well, what happens is there's a crank on the right side of it, and the old price is there, and before you begin pumping, so that you wouldn't be charged too much, you turn the crank, and it puts your gallons and your money back to 0, and then you start over again.
So what's the lever pull for?
It drops a little cover over the numbers and makes them disappear. And I can't remember exactly where that goes, but I think it's part of the reset mechanism.
All right, Joel, it's your turn.
Was there tone? And I think there was another comment.
Just 433 divided by 13.3 will give you the 32 cents per gallon downstairs.
Was there tone?
Yes, there was.
PD 120.
Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs SSTV Net. I'm going to start with my 2 cents. This looks like, for me, it looks like Yosemite Valley. Just looking at, you're just on the other side of Yosemite Falls and looking out on the apron further up the valley floor. But I could be wrong, so that's my 2 cents. I'm going to move on to Bill, November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike. What do you think?
Yeah, this is November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike. I didn't know Joel was a rock climber. It looks pretty high up, very beautiful view, and there seems to be some kind of wind-eroded rock in front of the front of the picture here. Yeah, I was going to guess Yosemite Valley also, but I'm not certain exactly where. It looks like a beautiful view, and that rock looks like it's about to fall. Anyways, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Joel got up there. N6WLM, back to net.
Thanks so much, Bill. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. I'm moving on to Neil, Kilo Lima 7 Hotel Quebec Romeo. What do you think?
Scale 7 HQR. Again, I agree that this should be Yosemite. When I start seeing the picture, I thought it was the top of Half Dome. Obviously, it's not because it's so separate. So I'm really curious to know where in Yosemite that was. Back to net.
Thanks so much, Neil. Bob, November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec. Where do you think this is?
Well, I agree with the crew that it is probably Yosemite. Nice picture, very few pixel pops. We've got good conditions today. I was going to make a wisecrack and say that some people years and years ago remember Wide World of Sports when they did cliff diving, and it looks like there's the ramp on the top left for the people to decide to take a leap into the river down below. Haha, N6PGQ.
That's really funny, Bob, because I remember the cliff diving back in the day and their little skimpy Speedo suits and all that in a bag of chips. All right, Joel, AS6DG, let us know, where is this and what were you doing?
You mentioned Wide World of Sports, and I think of the clip. And the agony of defeat was that flying the ski jumper that crashes at the bottom. Geez, I hope he was okay after that. Yes, obviously Yosemite, and you got a direct, the general location as being between Yosemite Point and Yosemite Falls. So this is just to the east of Yosemite Falls and just to the west of Yosemite Point. You can kind of follow the cliff face down. You don't have to do rock climbing. You just cross-country hike down the slope following the cliff, not over the cliff, and to Lost Arrow Spire, which is what this is. In the background, far distance on the left, we've got Mount Star King. Someone mentioned the apron, Glacier Point apron, that's directly above the tip of Lost Arrow. So you've got Glacier Point above that, in kind of at the top of the shadowed section of the near, well, not near because it's all the way the other side of the valley of cliff. And there are climbers that do this. There's a route on the back side of that. So what they do is they rappel down the cliff face from the upper left to the notch that's at the very bottom, that's between the rock that's sticking up and the cliff face. And there's a climbing route on the back side of Lost Arrow Spire. They get to the top, and through all that climb, they've been dragging a rope behind them. That's the other end of which is attached to the top of the cliff on the upper left. And they stretch it taut, and they clip into their harness and they rope, and they pull themselves across the taut rope to the cliff on the left side. And there's lots of photos of people that have done that. There's probably even people that have tried tightrope walking across that rope. Not something I would do, though. And anyone that dives off of this cliff is in for a very long fall and an abrupt end. It's probably a couple, I don't know, 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet down to the bottom. Back to net, AI6DG.
Thanks very much, Joel. I mean, I got lots of memories for this because family, this is one of their favorite spots, and Yosemite is. And I remember watching the Firefalls when they had that. And it's Whiskey Delta 6 Uniform Charlie Kilo, friend of ours. He was on a rescue crew. He I think has climbed everything in Yosemite. He actually used to work back in the day, 70s, 80s, whatever. He would help on rescuing people who did actually rappel off things or accidentally fall. So great picture. I have 0 pixel pops on mine, and I just love that. Thanks so much. That's a great hike. Right, this is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. Carol's up next. Kilo Papa 4, Mike Delta. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, this is PD 120.
Thanks, Carol. I have a few pixel pops on this, and I'm going to move right to Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf. What do you see here? James, are you still with us?
Copy. The sound dropped out. Well, it looks like this is where we are going to be having field day this year. I've been past this site, and I wish I was going to be in town for field day. I'm going to miss it, unfortunately. I do have many more pixel pops on Carol's photo than I've had on the previous photos, but it is a really great photo. This is a QSL card, and I really like it. You just really get a sense of the whole scene, and I'm glad you shared it, KB4MD. This is Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf.
Thanks, James. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee. Moving on to Bill, November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike. What do you think?
Yeah, this is a great QSL card, and a great advertisement for Field Day. I'm looking very much forward to Field Day. Even though I'll have a 1-month-old, I might be able to visit you guys for an hour and maybe get a few contacts. As a young and new ham, Field Day is always an exciting time. So I hope a lot of people get out there and operate and have fun and maybe barbecue. I've never been to Dry Creek Ranch, but sure does look beautiful. I want to load up one of those flagpoles though and see if I can maybe make it into a 20-meter vertical. Anyways, N6WM back to net.
Thanks so much, Bill. Neil, Kilo Lima 7, Hotel Quebec Romeo. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Very good copy on the picture. No notices, problems with the picture at all. Beautiful QSL card. I'm looking forward to making a contact and getting a QSL card myself. Back to that.
Thanks so much, Neil. So, Carol, tell us about the QSO card here. I think it's beautiful. I love the flags waving, and I'm hoping I can make some of these up so that I can use it for Field Day. Really looking forward to Field Day. So, Carol, KPO4MD, tell us.
Yeah, okay, this is KP4MD. First of all, I'd like to put a shout out to Golf Zero Tango Juliet Hotel in England, who has joined us on our live chat. And my gosh, it's like, what is it? It's almost between 4 and 5 a.m. there in England. So Ian is up very, very early in the morning to join us here on our live chat. And I think this is the first time we see him here. Yes, this is the ranch house and at Dry Creek Ranch, and we set up our canopies and tents in the off to the side of this house. It's a historic place. It's actually run by the Rio Linda Historic Association. This is the same place where we're going to have the Farm and Tractor Days this month, which is going to be May 19th and 20th, Friday and Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you want a little preview of where we're going to be doing our field day, you can drop in the Farm and Tractor Days and visit our amateur radio exhibit and booth. N6PGQ is going to be there, I believe, Friday, maybe also Saturday, but I know Friday doing the Morse code. He has the Morse code practice, which is really a good hit with the kids there. And we have a couple other members of the club going to be there. So stop by, say hello, maybe even participate in do a little talking up of amateur radio to the general public that comes by. So back to Net Control. This is KP4MD.
Thanks so much, Carol. This is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to River City Arcs Slow Scan TV Net. All right, we're almost down to the bottom. Alpha Echo 6 Juliet Golf. James, are you ready to send a picture?
I am. Let me do a tone test one more time, Jen.
Copy that. Loud and clear.
All right, this is PD 120.
nice picture, James. Let's go to Joel, Alpha India 6, Delta Golf, and find out what he thinks we're seeing here.
Beautiful blue sky coming down about a third of the way down to a horizon on the ocean. So we've got a little sliver of blue ocean that comes down, maybe to a bay. You can't really see down to the seashore, but it looks like the water's a beautiful blue. And we've got land from the bottom half of the picture, a road going down to the ocean, low-level bushes and plants on the left and right of the road as the road gently turns to the left and down to what may be a bay off in the distance. And a pretty good picture, very slight moire pattern, very visible in the sky. Wouldn't see it otherwise. Fair number of pops, but not too bad, and the repeater IDing at the very bottom with the the line. Back to net, AI6TG.
Okay, thanks, Joel. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee. We're going to move on to Carol, KP4MD. What do you think? KP4MD, it's your turn.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had my my headset microphone flipped up and it disconnects it. Not sure. All I can say is it's a beautiful picture with a nice flat horizon out to looks like the ocean, and a gravel pathway in the foreground going off into the distance and then curving off to the left, and some brush on either side of the pathway. Can't say very much else. There are some pixel pops that you can see, especially up in the sky. Back to you, KP Friend.
Thanks so much, Carol. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee. We'll go back to the top of the list. And Bill, November 6th, Whiskey Lima Mike. What do you think?
This is November 6th Whiskey Lima Mike, Bill in Roseville. Yeah, very beautiful photo. My copy is much different than the version on YouTube. The colors are much more vivid than what I'm seeing on YouTube. Sometimes I get that with certain people's photos. Usually it's Joel's, so I'm interested to see why it's different now. A fair amount of pixel pops also, and then the ID on the bottom, like someone else was saying. My guess for this is maybe it's the California coast. I'm going to just pick a location. I'm going to say Fort Bragg because it looks like California coastal, like maybe more of a cliff than beach. Anyways, yeah, very, very nice photo. N6WM, back to net.
Thanks so much. Well, let's go down to James, A6JG. What do you think? What are you going to tell us about this beautiful spot? And I bet you it was a field trip with that lovely trailer that you have coming on.
Yes, well, you're all right. It's a body of water. It's the ocean. This is the end of an arduous hike heading back towards the coast and Highway 1. This was a hike between Shell Beach, which north of Bodega Bay, about 6.5 miles inland, up and over a mountain, which felt like Mount Everest, but it wasn't really. And this is just a shot on the way back to transportation. So this is probably a mile away to the coast. And I just like the perspective of the picture. I'm glad that, Bill, you got some of the vividness in your transmission. I was wondering, I sent this sort of as a test to see how the blue sky would do with pixel pops, and I can see online on the YouTube that there's a good amount of pixel pops in the blue that are easy to detect. But yes, we were camping not far away from there at a place called Cassini Ranch on the Russian River. This is James, Alpha Echo 6, Juliet Golf.
Thanks so much, James. Another beautiful picture. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to River City Arcs, Slow Scan TV Net. All right, I'm at the bottom of the page, so I am going to send a PD120. Let me turn on my stuff, and it'll just be a moment. Alrighty then, this is Kilo India 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and I'm going to pop up to, let's see, who have I missed? Is it time for Neil? Kilo Lima 7, Hotel Quebec Romeo. What do you think?
Yep, very, very good copy. No problems with spots on the picture. We got a squid milk sugar, very clear reading on that part of the label. Cannot read the bottom of it, but very, very curious, very intriguing what this is. I have absolutely no idea what it is. Back to Net.
Thanks, Neil. Bob, November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec. What do you think?
Well, it looks to me like someone is using this can to store parts. People used to use a Prince Albert tobacco can to do that. This is a way cooler can. It looks like those are on the left coming out of the can is a screw hook that would go into the wall. It's threaded, which is at the bottom, but you screw it in, and then the hook would allow you to hang something from it, a set of keys or something like that. And it looks like there's quite a few other ones like that in the can. Looks like somebody's, junk drawer of screws. So quality's good. It's on a nice wooden grain table or cutting board or something like that. So the quality's good, and I'd like to hear what it is. N6PGQ.
Thanks so much, Bob. Joel, A6DG, what do you think?
All right, so we've got a wood plank background, probably pine. A little square something on the lower left that's dark that I have no idea what it is. Yes, and then we have what's probably looks like it's a tin, a metal can with various hardware pieces coming out the top, hooks, screws, maybe some eye hooks. It's labeled squib, milk sugar, lactose something or another. Lactosic? Especially prepared for the modification of milk for infant feeding, and then the print gets too small. And at the bottom it says E.R. Squibb & Sons, New York. I don't imagine that would be in any way approved of nowadays. So I'm guessing that this probably goes back to the 30s, maybe. So someone's old garage. I don't imagine anyone trying to think 40s maybe at the earliest. Anyway, amazing how times have changed and what's acceptable and what's not. Back to Net, AI6DG.
Thanks so much, Joel. This is Kilo Indo 1 Tango Tango Yankee, and you're listening to the River City Arc Slow Scan TV Net. Carol, James, or Bill, do you want to make a comment before I tell you what it is?
It's WLM.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my copy came through much different than the one on YouTube. But there's a very serious tear about a third way through, and then a vertical slant. Usually my MMS TV will autocorrect that, but it didn't quite make it this time. I think I might have heard voices in the background, but I can't tell. N6WLM.
Comment? Bill, copy that. That's interesting. Yeah, I've got a different picture on my screen too, so that's weird. Any other comments before I give up?
Comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you got a open mic, because I heard voices at the beginning also, and it sounded like a time-delayed repeat of the what was on YouTube, and there might have been some of that at the very end also. Back to AI6DG.
Thanks for that, Joel. That's interesting. Okay, always remembering for me too to turn things off. All right. Well, so when my grandmother passed away, there was lots of stuff in the garage, and of course I have an attraction to old cans, and this is indeed squib milk sugar lactose, specially prepared for the modification of milk for infant feeding. a fine, pure, bolted powder, quickly soluble, hence convenient to use. Milk sugar readily absorbs odors, rendering it undesirable. For this reason, Squibb milk sugar is packaged only in 1-pound sealed tins. Keep the can well closed and away from odor substances. So, I think it was Bob was right on in what was in the can, and those were what was in the can when I got it from Grandma's. And I've kept the can. I like the screws, and it's just a nice slice of history. I looked up the can, and it is, I think, the 40s. The back says humanized milk. I mean, I don't know anything that says that anymore or ever. And it says in cow's milk there is an excess of proteins and salt, except for yada, 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 yada. The print's really good, and it was just a little slice of Grandma and the old days, and I've kept it, and I just love the tin. So that's what I've got. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee. Are there any other comments? Well, it's been a great evening again, and the pictures have been fabulous, as well as the stories that go with them. So we are at 10:05, so I want to say thanks to all who have participated in tonight's Slow Scan TV Net, and we hope to see you again, including our folks on the chat as far away as England, and Craig, our regular. And we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. for another round of River City Arc's Slow Scan TV Net. The net is officially closed at 10:05. This is Kilo India 1, Tango Tango Yankee, Jen.